This one here is the photo that I still am working on. And of course, as y'all know, this is a photo from Soul 1408 that was taken. There appears to be a lizard-looking creature, and it does seem to match up with one of the creatures in what I feel is a drawing that was found on Mars in Soul 1506 and Soul 1507, where you can absolutely see this drawing, okay, not to even colors within it, and even two creatures laying on top. It's amazing. And so what we've been sort of doing is just like, when we see stuff, we've been making a point to mark it, trace over it. I've got an iPad Pro. Went got the Apple Pencil. It's made it so much more fun, so much easier to trace over these things. Now, these were all initial tracings. I have to go back and really, I'm going to give this one another go. But I don't know what they'll ever be used for. But I just feel like that, the image can really be brought out even more to sort of represent what the human eye may be seeing. But this was my latest one. I finished it last night. I'm even trying to shade, y'all. Look. I'm even trying to do some shading. I'm just trying to represent the image exactly as I see it. And what I've been doing is I finish them up, I'll write on the side of them what soul it is. I give it a title of whatever. I just call this one Little Martian Creatures. And then I put some particular items of note, in particular, the things that I'm noticing. And I'm noticing in a lot of instances when I run up of what I feel like are these creatures, they have these claw-like hands. There's one eye that seems to be bigger than the other, very prevalent. I don't think every single creature is like that, but several of them are. It's either that or it's the way we're looking at them, or it's the way gravity works on Mars. I don't know. Along with the one eye bigger thing, there's a crease thing going on in some of these images. You could kind of see that in this lizard one, actually. If you look, you kind of see this strange creaseness going on down the forehead, even down the nose area, past the face, that sort of a thing. So listen, I've like I said, I've been studying Photoshop, trying to get better with it. Right now, I'm trying to understand and learn layers, okay? Adjustment layers, because what I really like is when you can add a layer, make it like a black and white layer versus the original layer, and you may be able to see even more in the image, trace it out. But what I have not figured out yet is how to do that with all those layers in place and kind of going back and forth in between them. So I'm working on that, and I will figure it out. It is just an application. But I wanted to show this latest image with you guys. You guys know I have been all over Soul 2658. That's one of my favorite photos or gigapans. This one was made by Neville Thompson, I believe. So yeah, later today I may actually be right back in there. We may do a Mars anomaly hunting. So I just wanted to show you guys my latest little behance or whatever. So there you go. Share that with you guys in the chat. So let's talk about Blue Planet Project. Okay. Let's talk about Blue Planet Project for a minute. Now, this is a PDF file that was comprised by our United States government. And basically, the point of this is to describe some of these alien species and their credo, basically. Now you'll notice what you're looking at is not a drawing. That's an actual photograph, by the way. Just wanted to note that. That is the reptiloid or reptoid or reptilian race that you guys have heard so much about. Remember the Lacerta interview that we listened to? That is a photograph. That is not a drawing. I just wanted to make sure I note that. And that is a male in that photograph. Now, there's a secret base in Dulce, New Mexico, where it has been said that aliens actually control this base. 7 stories. And there's a lot of weird experiments going on, okay? A lot of really, really strange experiments, okay? And if you actually look at this particular PDF file, it goes into these various different races of these so-called alien beings. Who knows listen, sometimes shit is so crazy, it has to be real. You know what I'm saying? It has to be. The Dulce base has studied mind control implants, bio PSI units. Remember when I was talking to you guys about that tactical advisor, Tim, from Cosmic Disclosure, who told us about these bio units that apparently, like, these grays have the ability to basically take out your consciousness and put it into another body. And their minds are so wide and expanded, they can take their consciousness and put it into 2 or 3 different bodies and control it like one. A lot of this type of research has been taking place in Dulce, New Mexico. So just listen to a little bit about the base, okay? So let's talk about a little bit of inside the base. One of the things that has been talked about is this, what would you call it? This treaty that Eisenhower supposedly had with the Greys. And again, if you have ever did any sort of research, okay, and I kid you not, this video will probably be struck or something just because I'm about to show this. I've been getting attacked a lot with like any sort of my alien content. They've been, I kid you not, attacking the fuck out of my shit. Flagging me with fake accounts. But this right here is a actual real GIF. This is a real recording. And this is a particular gray called an Eben. E-B-E-N, an Eben. There is, 3 of them actually in some of this video. There was some video leaked on YouTube about 11 years ago when this came out. Seconds of video, okay? Literally seconds of it. And you can tell it's real. You can absolutely tell it's real. This particular Eben or gray came with 2 other grays, and they met with high-ranking government officials. Yes, it really fucking happened. I'm not kidding you. But you don't have to believe it. You believe what you want. So in the interim, let's talk about Dulce and some of the weird ass shit. Okay. Now, the thing that I want y'all to understand is what is ultimately, at the end of the day, what do they want? What do these alien beings want? What do these species want from us? Well, apparently they think that they created us. Yeah. They think they're our father. They think they're God. Now, I don't know how they think they're God, like in a collective sense, but I'm just telling you what I know. They actually believe that they are our forefathers, they're our fathers. And that drives them to do a variety of different things. And these beings are not really audible beings. You've heard stories where some of them have ears, some of them don't. That's just because they basically have figured out how to clone very well, and they clone these body beings, and they're like, they all look alike. It's like cookie cutters of each other. And then you have a full line of them, and then it's like they upgrade. Oh, we can figure out how to add in ears to their bodies now, or we can figure out how to add a reproductive system, or not a reproductive system, digestive system. Well, my understanding is reproduction is out of the equation in this scenario in a natural way. They're not able to reproduce with each other like we do. Have sex, semen and egg meet, baby is created and born. Doesn't work that way with them. They have to clone. So this secret activity that is going on, basically these species, these aliens, there's a hierarchy of them, right? And the reptilians are supposedly at the top of this hierarchy, rarely ever seen. They have abilities to, you could walk right past an entrance into one of their bases and not even know it. And we've talked about that before, but listen, let's just keep moving, because there's a lot of stuff packed in this. And now they're also known as the Dracos, okay? And when you see me scrolling down this PDF file and you see these little symbols, take note of them, because they actually mean something. Not to us, they mean something to these alien beings. And apparently in the Dulce base, there's a sign on every level, and it's like hieroglyphs. And we've also heard, now the reason why I'm talking about Tim, the tactical advisor from Germany, is because he works for the government, okay? The German government. And he's like the first government official that's literally sitting up there telling us about his meetings with the Greys. It's an absolutely amazing piece of film. Everybody should really take a look at it. You have to be subscribed to Gaia. It's $5 a month in Amazon Prime. Cosmic Disclosure. Now, part of the research that's done at the Dulce base is related to cloning. It's a genetics lab, the genetic effects of radiation. Its research also includes other intelligent species, alien biological life form entities. Now, just check this out. Centuries ago, surface people, some say remember the Anunnaki, right? Humankind, whatever. Some sort of something entered into a pact with an alien nation hidden within the earth. I don't really think it's like this crazy alien nation. Honestly, I think this is all rooted back to the aliens that God threw from heaven, who laid with mankind. The Nephilim were created. They were giants. And I believe that was their way of trying to intercede their DNA with human DNA even back then. And I think that it's still the agenda. That's just my personal thinking of it. But take it for what you will. To me, the analogy of a reptile or a reptoid being what you see when you look at one of those angels would make sense. Because they are snakes, right? They came down, they went against God, and they want to be God. So now they're trying to trick humankind and mankind into telling us that they're our fathers, and trying to basically bump God out the way. Like God didn't create the very grass on the ground that we walk on, or the dirt. That's the one thing I could never understand. They're always talking about dark matter and dark energy and the Big Bang and all that type of shit. Well, could you create the very dirt out in your front yard? Or the tree that grows in your front yard? Or the fucking rocks? Can you do all that when you bang two rocks together? What about grass? Something very, very intelligent had to do that. And even God, even in the Bible, Book of Jasher is really good for this story. The Book of Enoch talks about this, how these angels came and laid with the women here on earth, and these giants were born, these Nephilim, that somehow seems to be hidden by the Smithsonian. The Smithsonian has basically, they were the ones that were called whenever giant bodies were found, especially back in the early 1900s. And now you can't find a single one. Smithsonian said, oh, we don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, the U.S. government in 1933 agreed to trade animals and humans in exchange for high-tech knowledge and allowed them to use undisturbed underground bases in the western United States. A special group was formed to deal with these alien beings. In the 1940s, these ALFs, alien life forms, began shifting their focus of operations from Central and South America to the United States. The continental divide is vital to these specific entities. You ever wonder why a lot of like cryptid type shit comes out of South America or Latin America? I mean, you will see a slew of like cryptid animals, hybrid animals. And this is the type of stuff that, we're talking about here that they're doing. They're creating these hybrid animals. Like I was going to say, like in the Bible, in the Book of Jasher specifically, I know it's not in the actual King James, but the Lord, basically, if you were to believe that the Lord wrote it or wrote through it, says that people tried to play, games with the DNA and genetics of mixing animals and humans. He said the fowls of the air, the animals, like, let's make a liger. Let's make a lion and a tiger together and see what comes from it. Let's mix up, a whale and a frog and see what happens. We're talking, we're getting to some weird ass genetic shit, right? Let's mix a fox and a bird and we'll make a furred. Now, it's already bad enough where you see them doing this type of stuff with snakes. You'll see them manipulating snake DNA all the time. You'll see them creating, even with dogs, when they're breeding dogs, right? They'd be putting their own spin on it. Oh, if I mate with this one, maybe I'll get a blue, blah, blah, blah. But there are hybrid creatures that have been created. And this is just an example of like the type of research that is going on in this Dulce, New Mexico lab. Okay. Now, this area particularly has a high concentration of lightning activity, underground waterways and cavern systems, and fields of atmospheric ions. Now, whose planet is this? Back to that question. These specific aliens consider themselves the native ones. They consider themselves an ancient race, descendants of a reptilian humanoid species which crossbred with some of the more primitive uniterrestrial survivors. They are untrustworthy manipulator, mercenary agents from another extraterrestrial culture. And you know what I find interesting? If you listen to the last episode of Cosmic Disclosure, right? One of the questions that Emery Smith asked Tim was, are they to be trusted? Like these aliens, these grays have they've gotten a pretty bad reputation, especially through film and all that. Like they're emotionless, have no emotions, and can't be trusted. And he said that would be correct. They're invasive species. They don't understand the same boundaries that we as humans would have. Now, again, like I said, I think this all goes back to the original aliens that the Lord threw from heaven. And if you really want to read up on that, go read the book of Enoch and the book of Jasher. It's very eye-opening. You can even just bring it up on YouTube as an audiobook too. But there, these alien cultures are in conflict over whose agenda will be followed for this planet. All the while, mind control is being used to keep humans in place, artificially, of course, especially since the 40s, blah, 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 blah. But I really want to get into this base. Bear with me here because it's taking a second to scroll. Now, you know that this Dulce facility was actually founded in 1896. So it's been going on that long. I mean, you ever wondered why we had so much technology just show up in the last 50, 60, 70 years? Now we got internet. Now it's not even about gigabytes. It's not even about terabytes. It's not even about petabytes. And no, there's a real term. It's 1,024 terabytes, right? Zettabytes, whatever. So this research that has been going on for years at Dulce Labs, again, 7 levels. One of the biggest things is the Human Genome Project. Their goal was to completely decipher the human DNA genome, the genome that holds the genetically coded instructions that guides the transformation of a single cell, a fertilized egg, into a biological being. The Human Genome Project may well have the greatest direct impact on humanity of any scientific initiative before us today. Covertly, this research has been going on for years at Dulce Labs. Level number 6 at Dulce is privately called Nightmare Hall. It's where the genetic labs are. Hey, guys, damn, I didn't even see the chat. Like the chat just popped in all of a sudden. Hey, Southern Conspiracists. Hey, Dolly. Damn, did I miss anybody else? Hey, Red Wings. Hey, good morning to y'all. Hey, Third Eye. Like, I kid you not. I was sitting there wondering why the chat wasn't moving at all. Then bam, like y'all just boom, boom, boom. It all came in at one time. Wow, okay. Good to see you guys. Okay. So, quote, well, let me say this. Okay, they call it Nightmare Hall. It holds the genetic labs. Reports from workers who have seen bizarre experimentation are as follows, quote, I have seen multi-legged humans that look like half human, half octopus. Reptilian humans, furry creatures that have hands like humans, cries like a baby, mimics human words, and also a huge mixture of lizard humans in cages. There are fish, seals, birds, and mice that can barely be considered these species. There are several cages and vats of winged humanoids, grotesque bat-like creatures about 3.5 to 7 feet tall, gargoyle-like beings, and Draco reptoids. Level 7 is worse. Yes, stay woke, y'all. Stay woke. Level 7 is worse. Row after row of several humans and humanoids, hundreds, perhaps thousands, in cold storage. Here, too, are embryo storage vats of humanoids in various stages of development. Quote, I frequently encountered humans in cages, usually dazed or drugged, but sometimes they cried and begged for help. We were told they were hopelessly insane and involved in high-risk drug tests to cure insanity. At the beginning, we were told never to try to speak to them at all, and we believed that story. And in 1978, a small group of workers discovered the truth, and the Dulce Wars happened. A secret resistance unit was formed. Now, I'm not going to talk about the Dulce War today, but just know that a confrontation went down that they call the Dulce War. And there were some aliens and humans killed during that confrontation. Now, there are over 18,000 aliens at the Dulce complex at this time. In late 1979, there was a confrontation over weapons. A lot of scientists and military personnel were killed. The base was closed for a while, but now is currently active again. Human and animal abductions for their blood and other parts slowed in the mid-1980s when the Livermore Berkeley labs began production of artificial blood for Dulce and its sister complexes. Now, about that confrontation, human and alien at Dulce, 82 people were killed between scientists and the National Recon Group, the Delta Group, which is responsible for security of all alien-connected projects. Also, there were hundreds of other wounded people and 132 dead aliens. By the way, no new comments have came in, so I have no idea if y'all have left any. I think StreamYard's having some sort of an issue. All right, now, this type of entity is one that abducts and contactees have seen in underground breeding facilities since 1963. They are bred by the thousands in underground facilities. The Dulce facility is the most well-known place that this activity occurs, although there are at least another 26 bases within the United States that have similar facilities. The Delta Group within the intelligence support activity has been seen with badges which have a black triangle on a red background. Delta is the fourth letter of the Greek alphabet. It has the form of a triangle and figures prominently in certain Masonic signs. Each base has its own symbol. The Dulce base symbol is a triangle with the Greek letter tau, T, within it. And then the symbol is inverted so that the triangle points down. Take note of the insignia. The insignia of a triangle in 3 lateral lines has been seen on alien transport craft. It's called the trilateral symbol. Other symbols mark landing sites and alien craft, okay? Now, inside this Dulce base, security officers wear jumpsuits with the Dulce symbol on the front upper left side. The standard hand weapon at Dulce is a flash gun, which is good against human and aliens. They use a retina reader for identification in substitution of what they used to use as ID cards. But the ID card readers are still used in card slots for the doors in the elevators, which have the Dulce symbol above the ID photo. After the second level, everyone is weighed in the nude, then given a uniform. Visitors are given one off-white uniform. In front of all sensitive areas are the retina readers and the scales built under the doorway by the door control. The clearance is checked, identity is checked, and also the weight. Any possible change over 2 pounds will throw out a security alert. So every time you walk in and out of those doors, I wouldn't care if it was for 5 minutes, you're weighed. And if you're 2 pounds heavier than what you were when you came in, why it's like, okay, right? Now, no one without a specific clearance or authorization is allowed to carry anything in or out of these sensitive areas. All supplies are put through a security conveyor system. And my understanding, guys, is everything underneath this base, including the elevators, are all controlled magnetically. There is no electrical control. It's magnetics. Amazing shit, okay? Now, the alien symbol language And the Greys and Nordic appear a lot at this facility. During the construction of the facility, which was done in stages over many years, the aliens assisted in the design and construction materials. Many of the things assembled by the workers were of a technology they could not understand yet. Nowadays, it's a different story. It would function when fully put together. For example, the elevators have no cables. They are controlled magnetically. The magnet system is inside the walls. There are no conventional electrical controls. All is controlled by advanced magnetics. That includes a magnetically induced phosphorescent illumination system. There are no regular light bulbs, and all exits are magnetically controlled. Now, note, if you were to place a large electromagnet on an entrance, it will affect an immediate interruption. They will have to come and reset the system and, quote, blow away your head if they catch you. Now, the town of Dulce. Now, there's a guy named Phil Schneider, and I may go into this here in a minute. He actually talked about his experience in the Dulce Wars. He lost 2 of his fingers. He speaks on this combat in which these 130 plus aliens were killed. These 82 human beings were killed during what they call this Dulce War. It's a whole topic in itself, honestly. And again, I'm not here to push this out like all of this is true or anything like that. All I'm saying, I think probably my motto is that sometimes shit is so weird and so strange, it has to be true. But my beliefs and how I feel, I definitely am not here to push that out on you guys. Y'all take this for what you want, okay? It's a very interesting topic, and that's all that I really care about. And I like to feed my mind. Now, the area around Dulce has had a high number of reported animal mutilations. The government and the aliens used the animals for environmental tests, psychological warfare on people, and the aliens also wanted large amounts of organic material for genetic research, nutritional, and other reasons. Did you hear what I just said, nutritional? Remember when I was talking to you guys last night about the aliens soaking their hands in blood and literally soaking that blood into their body because they don't have a digestive system, they don't eat. That is how they eat. And they say they have a really bad smell because of that. But let me show you, there was a lot of cattle mutilations going on in Dulce, New Mexico, and it caused a bit of a firestorm. You can actually go back and look at the news back in like the 40s and 50s. There was so many like cattle being mutilated. And what was crazy is that they were finding them dead, and all that was missing was the blood. Everything else was completely intact, completely. And by the way, guys, no new comments have come into StreamYard. So I don't know what's going on there, but I just want to make sure you guys are aware. I'm not ignoring you. It's absolutely nothing news came in. These gifts are everything, right? These gifts are everything. Okay. Let's continue. So apparently the organic material that comes from these cattle, the blood, like uterus, muscle tissue, that sort of a thing. Again, they're the Human Genome Project, being able to literally reconstruct our entire DNA sequence. These ETs have been abducting people, okay? And I know how crazy this sounds, but just hear me out. There has been not only, which it's a completely kind of different from this topic in a way, but in a way not. At the end of the day, they want to intercede their DNA with humans, with mankind. And there has been abductions. There's too many people out here where it's happened to for it to not be some truth to it, in my opinion. And if you do some research on what they call hybrids, you will find that is a very, very interesting topic. Very interesting topic to say the very least. Um, and you'll find that there are some people that even recall or remember that they had a baby. Basically, what happens is they're impregnated, and then these children are taken from them at approximately 3 months in their pregnancy, and then they're continued, okay, in the way that they do. Listen, I don't know, but there's an entire hybridization program, and there's actual photos of humans that don't even look 100% human. And there's even people that have came out. I want to say it was maybe 12, 13 years ago. This woman did an article in the news and said that she gave birth to the first hybrid baby, the first half alien, half human baby. And it may seem crazy to you guys, but if you were to see somebody that looked like this, I mean, if giants were able to walk around, okay, the Nephilim, and not only that, we see marks of these grays everywhere going back into humankind, even in the Madonna. Famous artwork. There are drawings of little UFOs. It's an absolutely amazing topic. There are hybrids, okay? They call them hybrids. And so that is the ultimate goal at the end of the day, is that they want to be able to have a line. They want to create. Some of these photos I've actually seen before. One thing you'll notice with some of these hybrids is their eyes are a little bit different, a little unique. Okay. It's fascinating. I absolutely think that it's going on. It's an entire program, an actual program. It's a program. Isn't that amazing? They don't even look normal, do they? Don't even look normal. You can tell there's something up. You can tell. And we've heard about like the tall grays, the Nordic looking ones, the tall whites. There's even some species that are just pure energy. They're just pure energy. But let me continue here, okay? Shit is amazing, right? Look at that. You could tell there's something quite not right there, right? You can see it. My eyes ain't normal human eyes. And that's what they want to do. They want to intermingle their DNA with human DNA so that their seed can continue living on. They think they're our fathers. They think they are God. The hell? I love Pinterest. No, what kind of little girl is walking around with eyes like that? Reptile, like little snake eye, like, Anyway, this gets better. Okay. This gets so much better. Even a U.S. Army high ranking officer has confirmed 57 alien species. Some look similar to your human women and have tried to even, create or they're one of the biggest problems is they can't procreate. Wow, look at this. Wow. Anyway, okay, listen. Woo. Absolutely love this topic, right? Love it. Love it. Love it. Very interesting to say the least. Okay. That Prometheus, that is one scary, scary being. Okay. It's a real scary being. But again, this hybridization program that is done with these alien species is a program. And they're collecting human eggs, they're collecting human sperm, they're cloning, and they're doing all sorts of shit, okay? And that's one of the purposes of like these bases, such as the one here in Dulce, where genetic experiments are very important. And that's why you'll see like really weird hybrid like creatures. And this was one of the big deals, hybrid babies being born across the world. World reacts to a new generation of half human, half animal children with both awe and concern. Where, this was USA Today that posted this. And that they're talking about the hybridization of animals and humans, which is also something that was talked about in the Bible as well. God said the fowls of the air, the fish in the sea, like they were literally like mixing and crossing these animals, creating all sorts of stuff. And we see that going on. We see them, we find all these different breeds of shit, like ligers, the mix of a lion and a tiger now. They're doing all sorts of stuff. But when you start crossing into a line of mixing a human being with an animal, it weighs into some serious ethical problems. You know what I'm saying? Some real serious ethical problems. I mean, just imagine having a child that's half pig and half human. The hell? You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it from that perspective and know that's what humans are doing, imagine, these alien beings, their minds are so expansive. Like their thought process. They did some sort of an experiment where they literally brought humans within 4 feet of some of these little grays. And the moment that, from my understanding, that you first encounter one, it's a very frightening experience. But even more so, they wanted to try to communicate with these grays. But the moment that the grays would attempt to try to communicate that it would be so powerful, they would pass out. Because it's like, if you think about like a downloading, we've all did like, downloading shit from the internet. And, sometimes downloading larger files take a longer period of time. Well, imagine pushing these large ass files into your brain in an instant. They have the ability to think in ways that we can't. We're completely two different species of beings. Another very interesting thing that some of you may want to take a look at is there is a KGB book. There's a book that was leaked. The KGB, the Russian old KGB is pretty well known in regards to their alien technology and having their government has been very involved in aliens beings as well. But think about it. Russia's got more land space, okay? In the like, do not underestimate Russia. Right now, all of us should be very concerned about what's going on with Russia right now. Putin is definitely throwing his weight around at this time. And we have a potential 10,000 United States soldiers, military members. They're all soldiers, okay? Navy, Coast Guard, whatever, okay? Air Force, whatever it is, soldiers. But there's a potential that up to 10,000 of our United States military members are going to end up over there in this whole Ukraine-Russia crisis. But I've done videos on that, more to come on that in the future. And I'm really hoping and praying this turns around and Putin doesn't continue to escalate this. But everyone's very fearful of a war between Ukraine and Russia. Sorry, Ukraine. I tend to say Ukraine. I don't know why. I know they say it like that, but whatever. They do. There's a KGB alien species book, and they actually go through and you sort of see an image, and then you get a bit of a description of these what they have concocted. And again, it's quite, there's a lot of belief that when this Skinny Bob video image leaked, that it was leaked by the KGB, by the Russians. Now, amazingly, anytime, I kid you not, I have been getting, my channel has been getting flagged like nobody's business anytime I talk about this topic. Anytime. I know I'm going to catch one. It's probably going to be some fake ass copyright. Okay. I get these weird copyrights with these fake names and stuff. There is no copyright on this video. There is no owned copyright. You can't copyright strike me for showing this. But people, you know, full disclosure is happening, guys. Get ready. It's here. It's here. Okay. Now, there were 4 clips that were released. Okay. Only 4 clips. Hold on a second. I think the account that originally, hold on. Because it's not just this that I want to show you, okay? It wasn't just this. There's actual video footage of the same even, you know, walking from a craft basically, okay? And see how difficult it is to find it? Why is it difficult to find it? I know I personally have talked about this. I've got videos up right now. Why is it when I search Skinny Bob, it's so difficult to find it? I don't understand. Like, come on. Hold on. I want all 4 clips. It's 4 total clips. See, this shouldn't be this difficult. Is that account still live, that Ivan one? And I know people have went through and enhanced it and all that, okay, and that's fine. Hold on, what the hell is that? What's going on there? Oh, okay. But see, it shouldn't be this hard. Why is it so difficult to find this footage? Seriously. There's 4 total clips. Ivan0135 was his name. He released 4 total clips, leaked them. Maybe we'll find it here. See, you can tell there's something to it just based on that alone. Here we go. Now, there is no sound to this really, but that is the KGB symbol. This is what appears to be a UFO that is going down. Remember Roswell, okay? Then there appears to be some sort of altercation. Okay, this was actually filmed. Again, this clip has been studied and studied. There's no reason to believe this anything fake in this clip. You can see that there's one alien that appears to be one gray that's dead, that, you know, from the crash. But what's amazing, and you're going to see it here in a second, there's, you know, what everyone has affectionately named Skinny Bob. Watch Skinny Bob walk out with two other aliens just like him. It's like a hierarchy. And I mean, you can even see his fingers moving. My understanding is they have no reproductive system either. So basically there is no sex, right? There it is right here. This is the one I was telling you about. So you see these multiple beings. And then of course you got this one walking behind it. Now, I want you to know that this incident here actually caused the deaths of 3 people. 3 people were killed in this incident because the aliens knew that one of these guys was secretly filming them. And they weren't supposed to have done that. But again, this film has been studied and studied and studied. Okay. You can tell the way they look at each other, even. You know, they're not audibly talking to each other. But when you actually look at this, you look at the lines, you see their eyes blinking. There's absolutely this, it would have, I don't know of a way technically that you could even fake this like this. This is not CGI that you're looking at. The way the video blurs all together. Again, this film has been analyzed by many experts, and no one has been able to say that this is a fake. And again, you had 3 different beings that you had to get to fake this out. You got to think about that too. I mean, they're over there blinking and everything, okay? But I'll drop a link to this video for you guys so you have it. I don't know when you'll get it in the chat because the chat's not loading on my end. But so anyway, you see how this topic can sort of take you down this rabbit hole, right? Damn, I've been live an hour. Okay. We're going to end up turning this into a multi video thing, but okay, listen up. A lot of cattle mutilations and things like that happening in Dulce. Okay, so mind manipulation experiments have been going on, and Dulce Base has studied mind control implants, these bio-PSI units, ELF devices capable of mood, sleep, and heartbeat control. Now, DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, is using these technologies to manipulate people. They establish the projects, they set priorities, they coordinate efforts, and they guide the many participants in these undertakings. Related projects are studied at Sandia Base by the Jason Group, which is a group of 55 scientists from 38 specific scientific areas. They have secretly harnessed the dark side of technology and has hidden the beneficial technology from the public. Other projects take place at Area 51 at Groom Lake in Nevada, codenamed Dreamland, which is a data and ongoing projects repository and establishment for just some of the following. And then, of course, we've got a list of projects. Just listen to this for a second. The studies on level 4 at Dulce include human alien aura research, as well as all aspects of dream, hypnosis, telepathy. They know how to manipulate the bioplasmic body of humans. They can lower your heartbeat with deep sleep delta waves and induce a static shock, then reprogram via a brain-computer link. They can introduce data and programmed reactions into your mind, what they call informed impregnation, aka the dream library. We are entering an era of the technologization of psychic powers, meaning the development of techniques to enhance man and machine communications, nanotechnology, biotechnology, micro machines, PSI war, electronic dissolution of memory, EDOM, and radio hypnotic intracerebral control, as well as various forms of behavior control via chemical agents, ultrasonics, optical frequencies, and electromagnetic frequencies, which are directed to the psychics of consciousness. And that is a whole topic in itself, levels of consciousness. You're going to hear a lot of talk about that, especially if you watch Cosmic Disclosure. But again, this topic is huge. Now, I'm going to go on down here because I want to get to this information here. There is a hierarchy. All right. The following is a basic diagram of the process of creation of these artificial hybrids that reside at level 7, the Dulce complex. I'm not a geneticist, so I don't understand really, but I know that, what is it? It almost looks like a blood diagram, right? Like if you're A positive or A negative, you can have A being, negative blood or whatever, or A, B positive blood or whatever. But this is the main formula for creation of bioreplicas using human cells. This is human DNA. The alteration made by, these creatures of the human DNA and what that basic diagram looks like, genetic diagram. They have sequenced our entire DNA. Now, let's talk about some of these life forms, okay? We've talked about how they've been mixing humans and animals and coming up with some really, we call those cryptids, cryptozoology. It's a very interesting topic as well, but it ain't just the mixture of humans and animals. It's the fact that they are interseeding their DNA in with human beings, because they want their line in succession to continue. The most significant alien specimens, especially the U.S. government, the U.S. government has conducted autopsies on alien cadavers hundreds of times. Gray physiology and anatomy. The most significant alien specimen, which has been available to autopsy, have been the gray types. The approximate height of most of these specimens are between 3.5 and 4.5 feet. Sort of looks exactly like Skinny Bob, doesn't it? It looks exactly like Skinny Bob. The head by human standards is larger in comparison with the body. Facial features show a pair of eyes described as large, sunken, or deeply set, far apart or distended more than a human, and slightly slanted as Oriental or Mongoloid. No earlobes or apertures on the side of the head were visible. The nose is vague, meaning, by the way, no ears. They don't need them. They don't really audibly speak. They're all telepathic. The nose is vague. One or two small holes have been identified as nostrils. The mouth area is described as a small slit or fissure. And in some cases, there is no mouth at all. It appears not to function as a means for communication or for alimentation. The neck area is described as being thin, and in some cases not being visible at all because of the tightly knit garment. Most observers describe these humanoids as being hairless. Some of the bodies recovered have a slight hair patch on top of the head. Others appear with what appears to be like a silver skull cap. There were no breathing attachments or communication devices. This suggests that telepathy with higher intelligence. In one case, there was an opening in the right frontal lobe area, revealing a crystalline network. This network implies the development of some sort of third brain. We also found a spherical object, which was more or less 1 centimeter in size and was linked with the crystalline network. We theorized that this is a device for amplification of their brain waves, which means they are not capable of psychic activity without the spherical device. This information is also included in the, quote, yellow book. The arms are described as long and thin, reaching down to the knees. The palms each contained 4 fingers with no thumbs. 3 fingers are longer than the others. Some are very long and others are very short. No description is available for the legs and feet. Some pathologists indicate that the section of the body was not developed as we would anticipate, showing that some of these beings were adapted to life in the water. They do sort of look like a cross between a frog, right? Like a frog and a humanoid and a the fowls of the air, the fish of the sea. According to most observers, the skin is gray. Some claim it is beige, tan, or pinkish gray. No reproductive organs or capabilities were discovered. No phallus or womb. No penis, no vagina, okay? This suggests cloning is the current reproductive method, which has been mentioned in other sources. The humanoids appear to be a mold, sharing identical racial and biological characteristics. There's no blood as we know it, but there is a fluid which is grayish in color. Now, I'm not going to read this page just because, we've been here for a little over an hour and I'm probably going to have to come back, honestly. But there is a breakdown of what they call these races or of these life forms. And it sort of goes into a little bit more detail, okay, of these species. But I'm trying to get to the real good stuff here. Okay, this is a 114-page PDF file. And so I encourage all of you to take a look at it. This is a star map that was actually recovered from a crashed alien ship. All right, so there are, again, different types of life forms. Like when I say alien, I'm not even always talking about your typical grays. I'm talking about anything foreign of the human DNA, basically. And there are some forms or life forms that are pure energy, represented by just light. There's a very good documentary on Amazon Prime, something of the light or something like that. I'll try to get the name, guys, if I can remember. But this woman had this relationship with with these beings or life forms of just pure light energy. You would see them They would pop up from time to time, and they would just be there and almost like visit with her. There was no like communication. She's not talking to them, but you just have to see the documentary, okay? Because it'll make a skeptical person go like, huh? Now, this is the Ultron. It is an energetic, intelligent life form, but it doesn't have a material body. This alien is created in the centers of quasars, a type of sensitive energy living in the center of pure energy, and is a component more stable than the material of Solola that is found in our quasar. They evolved from a series of monoelectronics to a series of more complex energy and created a collective civilization that does not know the individual thought or mind. Yeah, the Southern conspiracists. There is in Cosmic Disclosure in the latest episode, there is a discussion about just that. There is this special fabric that they use to make some of these PSI units. They literally call them PSI units. You could literally order one of these, and it's like a body. And being able to take your consciousness out of one and put it into one of these PSI units. Could you imagine? That's crazy, right? So would we even ever die? It brings a lot of questions up, right? Now, these Ultrons are an entity composed of primarily of pure mental energy, and radiate strong in the visible ultraviolet and kappa radiation bands. That's one thing to note. That if you've ever if you're one of those people that like to look up in the sky at night and, look for unidentified objects that may be moving around, make sure you put your night vision on your camera, because you'll see more at night with your night vision on than you would without your night vision if you're UFO hunting. I just wanted to make sure I let y'all know that. Now, Ultrons, these particular life forms, perceive dimension and objects in terms of electromagnetic energy. Knowing the speed of light through various mediums, it is able to judge its surroundings, much as the Terran bat is able to use the reflection of its own sounds to avoid flying into an object. The radioactive nature of the Ultrons, a non-corporeal being best suited by the Hutchison radiation analysis, HRA, is a graphic representation of any energy source. In this case, the life aura of the Ultrons are strongest in the ultraviolet range. The HRA is a standard readout on most sensor-equipped instruments, appearing as a fluctuating noir pattern. All right. People from outside Earth, dimension, time, space, of life at planet Earth from ancestral time. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't necessarily subscribe to all of that, we coming from different planets type stuff. I'm just saying, I think it's definitely possible, for sure. But I don't necessarily subscribe to that and think that, you'd have to prove that one to me. I do believe that at the end of the day, this is a struggle between the devil wanting to control mankind and these aliens that were thrown from heaven, trying to intercede their DNA to create a line, okay? And it's just become all of this. That's my opinion, though. The seventh largest race. We found two large races living below the 4 Earth capades. The reptoid, the reptilians, the reptiloids. Okay. Goes into their average height, average body temperature, pulse, respiration, life expectancy, okay? Blood pressure, what their normal blood pressure looks like. So this is a male. And again, pay attention to these hieroglyphs that you see, because they all have meaning. That's a male. We've got another. This is type B reptiloid. Okay. They're cold-blooded, like all reptiles. Now, this is not a drawing. This is an actual photograph. This is a photograph, not a drawing. Cold-blooded, like all reptiles. The reptiloid is found to flourish in a warm tropical climate, normally artificial at the big caves, with imperfect respiration, providing just enough oxygen to supply tissues and maintain the processing of food and combustion. You know, Southern conspiracy is another thing too. You just made me think, you know, God, what did God say when he said that he was going to bind those angels to earth underneath? Was it underneath the mountain? Or wouldn't that make perfect sense? Even more so, it's like, you know, God said, you know, you can no longer come into heaven. You no longer hold your place in heaven. They were given chance after chance after chance. Enoch, you know, talked with these particular angels, and it's just kind of crazy to me. And when they talk about these inner earth beings, it just makes it even, it just reinforces that to me even more. So just a thought. But their temperature can be raised only a few degrees above the ambient. The reproductive system is with eggs hatching in the oviduct prior to birth. The underdeveloped reptiloid, for faster activities, physical activities, cerebellus results is in a slowness and simpler city of movement. The reptiloid eye is composed of thousands of microscopic faucets, each faucet with its own independent protective lid. The eye is almost never closed entirely during waking hours. Rather, section of the organ is shut down in conjunction with the dominant light source. The reptiloids or reptoids survived hidden inside the earth at a big underground cave surface. And there's an interview with a reptilian woman, okay, called the Lacerta interview. It's out there. It's on my page as well. And it's quite interesting. It's about 2 hours long, and it goes into great depth and understanding of their bodies from a physiological standpoint. And it matches a lot with what is written in this particular PDF. But again, this is a photograph. And don't forget the photo of the devil of Dulce, that photo that came out of that reptilian creature that was caught in that cave. Okay. But this is a photograph. So this is something that came out of the Los Angeles Times, Thursday, July 21st, 1988. Quote, "It's a Hulk. Christopher Davis, age 17, swears the creature that attacked him while he was changing a tire in the middle of the night in Scape Ore Swamp near Browntown, South Carolina, was 7 feet tall and had red eyes and 3 fingers on each hand. Then Tom and Mary Way reported that their car had been chewed up at that same location. Was it the Lizard Man, as the locals are calling him, or just a red fox or a muddy drunk? The theory of state biologist Matt Knox, who has been called in to help investigate these sightings, Sheriff Liston Truesdale said he has been swamped with phone calls from people claiming to have seen this lizard man. And these are reputable people. They even offered $1 million for the capture of this creature. And there has been a lot of talk about the so-called lizard man, even news clips that came out showing the damage that was done. It would have been hard for anything to do that. But so you got those creatures, then you've got the insectoids. And I at least want to get through the insectoid piece And then I'm probably going to pick this back up with you guys later. Now, the insectoids, here's their, a bit of their credo, their body temp, life expectancy for a male is 130 Earth years, for a female 150 Earth years. And they look a little something like this. This was the male, and the antennae that they have is how they listen. So that's your male. And then you have another male, and this is the servant species. There's absolutely no shame in their servant game. Okay. They definitely use slavery. Like, if you look at the Anunnaki and that whole story with planet Nibiru and its 3,600 year orbit and all that, and how they needed gold to protect themselves on their home planet, a planet Nibiru, blah, blah, blah. And that humans got tired of being enslaved to do the gold. So they created these, that's the story, right? I don't necessarily believe it. I think that it goes deeper than that. Again, I think that, it all goes back to them wanting to intercede their DNA anyway. But they have like these level of these line of life form beings that are their servants, that do whatever they want them to do. They're the ones that do all the sludge work. My understanding is they even earn what they call mission credits. When they go out and do these various different missions, it's like they get a credit, and it actually, those credits in some cases come in and help in regards to their PSI units that they later get to choose. And some of these life form beings are operating up to 3 of these PSI units. They're operating 3 individual bodies, but they're one. They're one consciousness. It's fucking weird. It's like your soul's living in 3 different bodies. I know, it's weird as hell, right? Now, the insectoid, and we call this species the insectoid species. The insectoid retina is composed entirely of tone-sensitive rods and is incapable of discrimination between different wavelengths of light. Therefore, the addition of color to the insectoid's vision is accomplished by the dual antennae, which, in addition to being auditory receptors, are made up of a complex network of wavelength-sensitive cones. Owing to the highly directional nature of the antenna, the corona of vision is perceived by the subject in tones of gray. Because the correlation of 4 independent light receptive organs, insectoid vision can be correctly termed quadrascopic, resulting in relatively humanoid superior depth perception. Insectoid auditory capacities are highly developed, and insectoids are capable of distinguishing from among a wider range of audio frequencies than is normal for humanoids. Because of the monodirectional antennae, insectoids usually listen with their heads tilted slightly downward. They have a limited exoskeleton. The deviant. Metaterrestrial, okay. And then this goes into, time, space, dimensions, all that stuff. And I'm keeping this kind of light right now, but this is another species, okay. It looks like one of those little bat-winged ones, right? So crazy. Oops, sorry. They're crossbreeding between humans from Earth and extraterrestrials from Zeta Reticuli, from one of our possible futures. I know that sounds insane, but if you've never had the opportunity to research, what the hell was that project? The one where we sent like 20 scientists to Zeta Reticuli. The name was that. What was the name of that damn project? Hold on. Like we literally sent them and they came back 13 years later. I'm not kidding. Yeah, Planet Serpo. Planet Serpo. Yeah, if you've not had an opportunity, do some research on that. We'll actually talk about that one day. But Planet Serpo was another project in which we actually sent human beings to another planet, okay? Planet Serpo with the Ebens. The Ebens. And how they've helped us reverse engineer their anti-gravity spacecraft. Yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff. But let me keep going here. In this note, they say they don't have enough data to really understand this particular race of terrestrial. Then you got paraterrestrial. They don't have a lot of information about this type of being either. The name of this creature is almost impossible to repeat or even to write. We call this intelligent creature XZ. They look like one single amoeba or jelly. And then you got the mook, a very small and 1.3 meter hungry creature with long arms and 3 fingers wearing funny cloths. But you want to know something? There is a video, a news clipping that came out right out of Dulce of what appeared to be 3 or 4 of these little things destroying some cars in a Walmart parking lot. I'm not kidding you. And there's the other thing too, I think is important for us to really start being real about is the fact that aliens or life forms and beings don't necessarily have a damn thing to do with UFOs. You know, it really doesn't. You could definitely be down here cloning, crossing humans up with animals and all this other shit, interseeding DNA and all that without a UFO needing to be involved in that scenario. But give me just a second. Let me see. It's in New Mexico. It's Dulce, actually. Dulce, Mexico. Preacher destroyed car. Let me see if I can find it this way. I'm telling you, it's I can't remember the title of it, but there is actual news footage. I can't play it. Damn it. I will find it. I'm telling you, I'm gonna find I have it saved somewhere. Because they literally were going through the parking lot, destroying the fuck out of the cars. Hold on a second. It was some really odd, and it happened maybe 10 years ago or something like that. It wasn't too long ago when this happened. But of course, just like everything else, like even when we were trying to find this particular video of Skinny Bob, look how difficult they're making it to even find some of this stuff. You know, that says a lot to me. I'll get back to you guys on that, but I can assure you there's definitely a video of what it appears to be 2 or 3 of these little mook looking creatures that are very fast going through the parking lot, jumping on the cars, you know, basically making their way. It's pretty amazing to say the least. Now, one thing I'd love to show you here. This is the hierarchy of Dulce. Again, 7 levels. It's underground, okay? 7 levels. There is an entrance where apparently there are UFOs that come in the dead center, but level 1 is your security and communication. Level 2 is your human staff housing. Level 3 is where the execs in the labs start. Level 4, mind control experiments are going on. Level 5 is your alien housing. Level 6 are your genetic experiments. And then level 7 is your cryogenic storage, also known as Nightmare Hall. And there is an underground shuttle that can take you from Dulce to Los Alamos. And of course, this was Phil Schneider. He actually did several interviews. He was an engineer. He worked at the Dulce, New Mexico base and was involved with the Dulce Wars. Now, this is a photo of a UFO that was sighted right above this underground base. And this is a very interesting, I always thought this photo was very interesting. It's a photo that was taken of a gray. And this was supposedly taken in the aftermath of that battle in Dulce that left those 60 humans killed in action and an untold, they said 130 something of alien creatures that were killed in this particular battle. The Green Berets were dispatched to Dulce, New Mexico to keep the alien forces underground and away from the rest of the world. They succeeded, but at what cost? At least this is the way explosives engineer Philip Schneider tells his part of the story. He was in New Mexico that year and he knows the alien threat was real. Schneider claims he was working on a highly secretive underground base. He first became suspicious of the project's true intention when he noticed American Special Forces soldiers operating in and around the Dulce base. Snyder alleged that the gray aliens were conducting bizarre medical experiments on mankind, both live humans and samples of DNA. He said that deep underground, the grays would absorb human and cow blood for sustenance. Remember that story I was telling you about? How they soak their hands in blood, and that's their form of sustenance. They don't eat. There is no digestive system. Now, when Philip Schneider came out and told his story, y'all, he killed himself 2 years after he came out with the story. But some have said it was foul play, and some have questioned that. Now, it's very interesting that the engineer, Philip Schneider, said he began construction on the underground base just like he would any other base by drilling holes. This time, however, an acrid smell like burning garbage emerged from the drilled holes, and that's when this fighting started. Then one day he turned around and came face to face with what he called a 7-foot-tall, stinky gray alien. Immediately, the engineer grabbed his pistol and took 2 of them down. The third one blew off some of his fingers with a laser blaster. And yes, Philip Schneider was missing fingers, and he shows that. That's when one of the Green Berets sacrificed himself to save Schneider's life. The scuffle turned into a full-blown battle that killed 60 humans. Green Berets reacted instantly, bringing all the firepower they could bear on these alien life forms. These aliens responded by shooting blue bolts of radiant power with movements of their hands. The kind of bolts that blew Schneider's fingers off were turning the Special Forces soldiers inside out. Eventually, the aliens relented, retreating deeper into the complex, and what happened in the years that followed is anybody's guess. Before his death, 2 years after this, Schneider alleged that there were more than 1,400 of these underground bases all over the world. each with a price tag of 1 billion. The 192 bases inside the US are also said to be interconnected. While there is no further information on what started the underground war or if it continues to this day, residents of nearby Dulce attest to strange happenings in areas near their base. Y'all, sometimes stuff is so insane, right? It's so crazy. And it's like, how could it ever even be true? By the way, notice the writing on this photo. This is supposed to be on level 5 of the Dulce base. Level 5 in the hallway. This is a type 3 gray. This is a type 3 gray. So they again, I've heard up to 6 lines exist of these grays, but this is supposed to be a type 3. This is on level 5. Very, very famous photo. Very famous. Anyway. The mook, this very small 1.3 meter creature, is a very hungry creature with long arms and 3 fingers, wearing funny cloths. Okay. I will again find that news clip. I promise you there is a real news clip. I'll find it. Now, a lot of people feel like Bigfoot, the Wadig, is also a primate. And I've heard that these other life forms definitely use and have been part and reason why this Bigfoot creature even exists. It makes sense to me. It looks like a primitive kind of primate, but is an intelligent being. Normally never wears clothes. We can continue talking about paraterrestrial, but it's not logical because we don't have necessary quantity of data for making good research. This is because we talked only about the X2, the mook, and the Wadig, just for the literal illustration of matter. And they still don't really have a lot of information on these creatures. And that's where it gets into the grays, the krills, Zeta Reticuli, the Zeta Reticuli star system. Definitely check out some documentaries on Project Serpo if you get an opportunity. This is the malevolent alien life form, the ALF. Here's a Regalian. I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. It appears I lost my connection there. That's really annoying. And I know that a lot of these technology companies that are controlling our communications are actually metering our connections. And it's fucking bullshit. Okay. Everything is streaming now. Nobody's watching cable TV. Even cable TV is streaming. And they want to try to meter our connections and slow them and make us pay. You know what I'm saying? Make us pay for how much data we're passing over our network connections and all sort of weird fuck shit like that, But anyway. So listen, I'm going to keep it there for right now. But as you can see, there is a lot more to discuss, including Obes, Regalians, and the additional Nordics and the different types of grays. Okay. I want to get into a little bit more of that, and we will definitely do that in a future video. Definitely appreciate each of you guys being here today as we, delve into this topic. It's a strange one. We have a lot of, we have a lot of fun doing it. Damn, I haven't even had the Discord open. We have a Discord. I'm going to drop a link to the Discord. That is the only form of communication that I have. I don't do emails. I don't do any sort of Instagrams or DMs or anything like that. I keep it pretty much close. I'm trying to open up the Discord now. I want to drop a link for you guys so that you can come through. I'm trying to open it up now. I don't know if having issues here or what. Come on, baby, you can do it. Yeah, it doesn't want to open up on my machine. Who knows? That's kind of weird. Okay, let me grab a link from my phone then, and we'll just do it that way, not just drop a link in the chat. But I'm going to drop a link to the leaky.com Discord. We have been growing a lot of channels in there. And again, this is the only form of communication that I have. So if you have a story, or if you have, now the one thing I will say is this: if you have any sort of photos that have been leaked, especially NASA photos of Mars, or other, leaked photos of that nature, even if they're here on Earth, of alien creatures or UFOs or UFO technology, you can definitely email tips@leaku.com. Okay. Now, those I do see, I don't typically answer. But outside of that, I would encourage you to come. Honestly, I'll even see that faster in the Discord. You can come into the Discord. You can actually message me on the Discord. And we also, as as we get to know each other, we have, certain channels, certain top secret channels that only certain members, are in, that sort of a thing. And so right now, especially with the way things are and the way this internet thing goes, I'm just chose to really kind of close myself off a little bit from as far as access to the public. It's just too many crazy people out here, okay, doing crazy stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to get the Discord to open, but I think I'm going to need to reboot my laptop. I really do. So let me drop a link here, because I noticed that the one that I'd been dropping, the shortened one, apparently was no longer working. I'm not sure of why that is, but I'm going to drop a link to the entire Discord itself, right? Our main channel is our Chop It Up channel, of course. Damn, we damn near almost have 100 members in our Discord. Wow. You know that. It's crazy, right? All right, we're going to make this link to never expire. It's going to bring you into our Chop It Up channel, which is our beginning channel anyway. Let me add it into the chat so you guys have it. And especially for those of you that may come and, catching the replay or whatnot, there will be a link to the Discord in the chat for you guys. I'll try to remember to also do it in the comments and pin a comment. Bear with me. I'm getting in there now with my phone because I can't seem to, there we go. Hold on. Leave a comment. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Just dropped that. I just dropped that comment, or yeah, there we go, right there. Okay. That is the Discord link. Now, the reason why sometimes these links don't work or they stop working or whatever is because with Discord, one of the really cool features about Discord is having the ability to generate a link that may only be good for a few days, right? You can do all sorts of things in Discord, right? And again, that's my primary mode of communication at this point. So definitely, come through if you come across some sort of leaked photo or something like of that effect, especially ones that may be from Mars or one of the rovers. Please let me know. Come through to the Discord. You can download the app on your phone. You can go to it on the web, discord.com. You can hit that link and come to the server. And you can feel free to, send me a message there. Or you can drop a message and say, hey, Leak, can you reach out to me? Don't be fearful or anything and think Discord's like too difficult to operate or anything like that. Like Discord is the shit, okay? Once you get to really understanding Discord and how Discord works, it's like a whole nother community, so to speak, just like you would build on Instagram or YouTube or whatever. But Discord has some advantages that just don't exist on on any of these other platforms. And again, I now use it as my only mode of communication out because, again, I'll see it in Discord faster than I will in email. I promise you. I can assure you of that. But again, if you for whatever reason, if you're not able to get into Discord and you have a leaked photo, especially one from NASA, especially one that involves anything space related, Mars, especially because we've already found instances of photoshopped photos, the actual original ones being leaked out. So we definitely will anonymously take that information in those photos. We would never reveal the identity of anyone. You don't even have to communicate with us in a fashion. I don't need to know who you are. And if you want a secure and anonymous way to reach out to me in order to provide some of these photos or information, let me know. And it's kind of weird to say that, but you could definitely come into you could send an email to tips@leaku.com or nicole@leaku.com, right? Or you can come to the Discord under another account. I will build a more anonymous way or way of submission. Now that I sort of think about that, that way there is a method in which people can completely and anonymously submit these photos and videos and media and information to us with no repercussions. I don't even want to know who you are. But you definitely keep leaku.com in mind when it comes to those sorts of things. That's what we're here to expose to the world. And we definitely, I think, want to participate in that disclosure piece. I don't mind disclosing at all. Right? Right. Anyway, when you guys get a chance, definitely come through to the Mars Anomaly channel, where we are really ramping up on the tracing of these images from these rovers. We have found all sorts of little species, beings. And again, that's a whole topic on its own, but we will continue this one. We will continue this Dulce, New Mexico topic. And I think in the next video that we will do on this, we'll go into more detail about the grays, the alien technology, some of these genetic experiments that they have been working on. And that's going to take up time, like probably a couple hours, honestly. And then we're going to have to do another episode where we're going to need to talk more in depth about the Dulce Wars. It's almost like you can't even talk about Dulce without talking about these Dulce Wars. But that would be, where we're going to take a look at Phil Snyder and what Phil Snyder said as far as his confrontation that he had. He lost his fingers, in this incident. Over 60 human beings were killed. So anyway, I appreciate everybody coming through. I'm going to go ahead and take the stream out at this point, guys. I will catch y'all next time, and much